Hi, I'm Matt Witte of the Matt Witte Realtor team at William Raveis Real Estate in Andover, and welcome to our podcast today for Local Business Insider. I have Freddie Petkus here, who is, Freddie, tell us who you are. It's better to hear from you than me. Let's hear it.
Well, my name is Freddie Petkus. I'm the owner of Critical Mass Solar. We're a small company out of Pepperell, Massachusetts. We do residential and small commercial projects. We've been in business for 6+ years and continuously growing and looking to enter some new markets.
Awesome. And you're in Pepperell, so from Andover to Pepperell seems like light years away, but you go everywhere, right? I mean, how far in Massachusetts will you travel? How far in New Hampshire will you guys travel?
We will travel pretty much anywhere in Massachusetts, and we have done projects in Western Mass and on the Cape, where we get a hotel. We spend a couple of days there and then just do a project. So we really don't discriminate anybody anywhere in the state of Massachusetts. Southern to central New Hampshire as well. Northern is a little tougher, but for the right project, we'll pretty much go anywhere.
Okay, awesome. And that's good to know, because people want to know, locally, they might say, a lot of people that watch this in North Andover might say, oh, he doesn't travel this far, but he will. I know that from experience. And electrical costs has just gone through the roof the last 12 months especially. And I'm hearing friends and colleagues and family members say, my electric bill is out of control, like $600, $700, $800. And the solar process, being a customer of yours, I could tell you was almost seamless. And I think some people might, have the wrong idea and think, oh no, I got to deal with another contractor, and this is going to be a challenge. And how do they know what size to use for the panels? Can you kind of give us a walkthrough? And I know this is tough because it's a short podcast, but kind of a walkthrough on how does it start with the initial consultation? How do you size the panels?
So the first step that I do, I ask people, what's the reasoning behind why they want to go solar, what they want to do, and so on. Once we get a little bit of information, what kind of system they want, or and so on, then we will need your electrical bill. That gives us your historical usage data, and we can size the system. And then, some people want to add, a hot tub, a pool, maybe a car charger because they got an electric car. So we can actually add to it, but having historical data is imperative and helps to size the system, appropriately. Once I have the system, we have the information. I make a simple design from a satellite imagery, and we'll see, whether we can fit enough panels to offset your bill completely, or where we would be, if we just put 20 panels, like would it offset you 80%, 50%, and so on, and then I would schedule a consultation, take a look at the house, see, if everything, what I anticipate is there, whether there's electrical needs upgrades or roof needs upgrade, maybe it's an older roof, lay out all the information and let people decide whether that's something for them or not. I never bring anything to sign on the first meeting, just because I don't like when people pressure me into buying something, and because I don't like it, I will never do that to anyone. Being an educator by trade from a while back, I like to explain all the facts and explain how it works, pros and cons for any kind of system that you're looking for, and then let you make a decision whether it's right for you or not.
Awesome. That's great. And I know, being a customer of yours, a few months ago, we had met years ago, and I should have done it then, but I wasn't quite ready. And you never pressured me. You didn't call me every week. And it was probably a few years went by, and then I had called you, and we got this thing going, and you guys handled all the permitting, all the inspections, everything. And the work site itself was super clean. We had come back. There wasn't a nail on the ground. There was no debris. There was no pallets left over from the solar drop-off. There was nothing. It almost looked like you guys weren't even there. So I know, you take pride in your work that way. But I gotta tell you, because and Freddie knows I'm going to bring this up. I have a bill right in front of me, and I, not that I'm shocked, but it's nice to see it because it takes a little while to get going, right? To build up some of that solar credit, if you want to call it. There's that transition phase and stuff. And so last summer, I had. It's kind of embarrassing how much electric we use, so don't hate me here. It's between the central AC and the dehumidifiers, which eat up a lot. But we were over 1,000 kilowatt hours last summer, so maybe the July, because this is an August bill, so it must have been July. And we had a total charge of $379. And then this summer, same time frame, so it must have been July, the August 9th bill, we had a 0 kilowatt hour and a $10 charge, which must be, an Eversource minimum or something like that. I don't know. Maybe a delivery charge.
That's a meter charge, and sometimes when you overproduce a little bit more, that eliminates that as well. So, but 1,000 kilowatt hours is really a low summer bill. So you're not using that much.
Okay.
But
No.
yeah, and just for reference, you have a also what's considered a very small system. So a smaller system taking care of 1,000 kilowatt hours because you have a almost perfect southern exposure, no obstruction. So it just kind of worked out exactly how it's supposed to because you know you can put solar on east-west sides, but southern is your best. And in certain situations, we'll entertain it for east-west. But again, everything is a unique situation, and everything is kind of make sure explore it, see what it looks like, and then make a decision whether it's worth for you or not.
Yeah, it's a very cool thing when you see the proof behind what it was, what it is now. It's an amazing thing, and I know some solar companies will lease the solar panels. And being a real estate agent, some people don't quite understand what that means. They just think that, well, I got the solar panels for free, and now it's a 20-year lease, and I do have to make a lease payment, but I didn't have to pay anything up front. But when they sell the house, it's almost considered a lien on the property. They have to get the buyer to assume the lease. And you are selling the solar panels, which I like actually. I wouldn't even consider a lease because now I own these. And I think it's a good selling point when I hand over the electric bills, so on and so forth. And rates are so bad right now. And I know they're subject to change, but I was shocked how good your rates were. And can you talk? So I guess can you talk a little bit about the financing and the current rates, which I know are subject to change, as well as
Yeah,
the federal rebates?
yeah, absolutely. Everything kind of plays into how much electricity you use and how big of a system you need. But more times than not, uh, we see where people eliminate the entire bill, like in your case, and their monthly loan payment is less than what their electric bill would have been. And I don't do loans, 20 or 25 years. I do 15 years, and right now 5% is a good rate that is going on. So it's a 15-year, 5% loan is significantly less than what you would be paying for um, electrical bill, regardless, right? With no return. And the electrical, as you spoke about this earlier, electrical bills have gone up, and right now we're in summer rates, and in the winter they're going to go back up, and then they continuously to go up. Right now, National Grid has three more increases in the next year and a half. So they are already scheduled the three increases in the delivery charges. The rate is they can do whatever they want. So, but to get back to your point about federal tax credit, there is 30% of the entire cost that comes back to you via federal tax credit, and this is not to reduce your income. This is actually to reduce your final taxable liability. So if you overpaid the IRS, through your wages, they will send you a check. But if you are self-employed or you don't pay taxes until when you file them, and IRS says, hey, you owe us $15,000, and you went solar for, I don't know, let's say $30,000, and you would have gotten $9,000 tax credit. In that case, they would not send you a check, but they would say, like, instead of paying them 15,000, please send us a $6,000 check. So it reduces. So it depends on how you do your taxes. That money is real and it will come to you, whether it's 1, 2, 3 years. And the best way to do it, consult your CPA just to see what your taxable liability is, and then whether you would receive it in 1 year or 2 years. For some people that, if they are retiring or planning on retiring, there's a good time to create a taxable liability. That way you can offset it with the solar installation. That way, there are different ways to really skin this, but a CPA is a good person to talk about to see, how fast would you get that taxable credit. But yeah, all of this information, I talk to a customer, I try to explain everything, and then after the consultation, I send the email kind of summarizing what we spoke about so they can process it, read it again, because everybody's different. Some people are better processing verbally, some people by reading, somewhere, everybody looks at it different. So I want to make sure that they hear it, read it, and then make a decision. I know I've lost people because some other companies jump in and they are, do it differently, and they take over the sale. But again, based on my reviews, everybody's happy, and I'm happy, and it's a lot easier to deal with the happy customer and the happy continuous customer in the long run than somebody's complaining that something was not explained properly.
Exactly. Yeah, and reviews don't lie. People will not take it easy on you on the internet if you cross them, or if they feel like you were dishonest with them, they will come after you. And it's a little different than it was 30, 40 years ago. And back to the rates, because I am a numbers guy, the home equity line of credits, if you went to pull a HELOC on your house right now, it's about 8%. So you're talking about a 3-point difference. It's very, very significant. And a lot of people that I know can't just write $30,000, $40,000 checks for solar. So we get that. But I like what you said, that the loan payment oftentimes is less than what your electrical payment would be. And mine is significantly less. And I did
Right.
calculate to see if it
And
made sense.
and just for reference, I do a 15-year loan. People are like, oh, it's a really long time, but the system is completely warranted for 25 years. And if you calculate what solar costs you minus the tax credit, for most people in Massachusetts, is about anywhere between 7 to about 10 years break even. So in about 7 to 10 years, you will pay your utility company with absolutely no return, and they can raise the rates, do whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's definitely a long game. And then in terms of the real estate upside, if you're selling homes, I have sold homes where people own the solar panels outright, and it's such a valuable thing that we literally put it in the main paragraph. Okay, so if you did a new kitchen, new bathroom, new siding, new roof, or you own solar outright, people love that, especially since it's becoming the worst utility bill for a lot of people.
Right, and I've seen, and then you can speak of this if you've seen for house appraisals. There's like a formula that appraisers will start using for an owned solar system, where they take your previous average bill times 12 times 10 years, and that's kind of how much they value the house more, just because of solar. So if your bill was $200 before, times 12, that's 2,400 times 10 years, it's about $24,000 that they are comfortable adding on top of the house with the house.
Yeah, it's a significant thing for sure. I have talked to all different walks of life about solar, horror stories, and some companies, without naming names, people that own Twitter, they have these big companies, and they're just afraid that they're overpricing because they are who they are. And then there's smaller companies that they're so cheap, people get nervous. And I've known you a long time. We had done a deal years ago in real estate. And I told you this, and I meant it. I didn't shop solar companies because, A, I trusted you. B, when we went over everything, I thought everything was fair from what I've read and seen. But most importantly, I never felt like Fred will take off with my money. I'll never be able to reach him. I wanted to know, like, if anything happens, that I could pick up the phone and talk to the owner of the company. That was important to me. How long have you been in business, and where do you see your future going with this?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. And I've been in business for just over 6 years, going almost 6.5. We continuously, we continue to grow, expand. Have our crew is getting bigger in terms of installation, so we can do more installations and so on. We do everything in house, so we don't subcontract. Um, and one thing that I'm different than most people. If people are looking to pay outright for the solar system, I do not charge them until the system is turned on. So there's no down payment until the system is turned on, because I know how the world is, and the contractors are, they're not the most trustworthy people. So for me, because where I am, financially, and then how I structure my company, I'm comfortable at dealing with that way. I don't need, money to purchase supplies. I don't need money to do the next step. And then, we do things. I believe we do things right, and we make sure that everybody feels safe, and they we're not running away. The growth is I'm hoping, and I'm looking to, I have I'm a GC. I have my license. I'm looking to build. I would like to get into some smaller developments where we build a project where the house is not necessarily off grid, but it's as much electrical as possible and powered by solar. So when people coming in, where they don't have heating bill, electrical bill in New England, that could be about $5,000-6,000 a year. So it's a small vacation for a family, to go somewhere. So I'm hoping that I can get into the next step. We can develop some projects and build some houses where solar powers pretty much everything.
That's awesome. So you got your eye on the future, and good business people like you never settle and say, yeah, we'll just kind of relax and see how things are going. You want to expand, but expand in a make sure that we have a quality product moving forward. How can people get in touch with you? What's the easiest thing they can do? I will tell you, like Fred said, he's not going to call you every day begging for you to put solar panels on. He's going to give you a very good evaluation of your property and give you all the information you need, and that's going to be up to you. But how can people reach out to you?
Probably the best way is our website. There's a link, www.criticalmasssolar.com. There's an inquiry form. My email is also on there as well, Freddie@criticalmasssolar.com. If they reach out or just call the number on the website, all the messages, all the calls get routed to me. So I am the person that will answer. And if I can't answer, I will give you a call within an hour or so. I have even though it's my company, and then we don't have many many employees, but I have a policy that we need to get back to a customer within an hour, whether we have an answer or not, whether we're busy or not. Find the time to say, like, hey, we heard you. We'll get back to you when we're done dealing with another customer or whatever we have going on, but we're looking at the information and we heard you. So if you reach out to us, whether email, website, or phone, we'll get back to you pretty much immediately. And then if we're not, we'll send you a text, try to schedule a time to go to the next step.
Okay. Awesome. Freddie Peckus, thank you for meeting us today. This was very informational, as I thought it would be. So hopefully people will reach out to you if they want to cut their electric bill. I know they should, and they will. Just bite the bullet, get it done, and the electrical bill will certainly start to diminish. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you at the next one.